Yes, I've been listening to like some of the Sinners soundtrack recently. I know it's been late. I kind of saw this movie like a couple months ago, and I know it's got a lot of really good buzz. I think it's smashing still a bunch of records, which I think rightfully it deserves. This will obviously be a spoiler ish kind of review, but overall, I thought it was a really good movie. I don't like how the trailers kind of spoiled. It was like a monster flick. That was kind of a bummer. Like, because I feel like the first trailer you didn't know it was vampires, and the second trailer it was implied there was monsters, but you didn't really know the lore. And I feel like the monster reveal kind of ruined it a little bit. But yeah, as a whole, I think it's like a vampire like horror movie. It was really good. It was also very accessible. I feel where I went to see it with my brother and his girlfriend. My brother hates horror movies, and the fact that he was able to get through it, I think was a good sign. So if you're not like terrified of films, it's pretty good. Or not like if you don't like love horror movies, I think you could see this one. Also, foolishly, I usually don't do a lot of research on movies unless like I know the director pretty well. So I honestly didn't know it was like Michael B. Jordan playing the same role twice for a split second. I was like, huh, it's cool they got like these actors that look so similar. But that only lasted about 20 minutes. And my brother was like, yeah, that's the same guy. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But yeah, okay. Now here's my thing about this movie though. Is like it's getting a lot of buzz where everyone's like, "Oh, it's super good," or it's like it's like the levitating SpongeBob meme where everyone's like saying that's good. I think it's solid. It's a really good like fun monster movie. I think the era it takes place in is really cool, and you can definitely tell everyone in the cast is having fun being in this role or like being in this world. But definitely for me, it's not like I wouldn't say it's my favorite movie of all time. I would say it's definitely a fun movie, and I would rewatch it again. And I do have a theory. I think if you're like like a theater kid or an artsy kid, you're really gonna like it because it is kind of a musical. Like there's like four songs in this, which honestly I'm all for. Someone who does like musicals and like songs, it's kind of cool because there's like four separate moments where there's like songs in it, and I feel like Barbie kind of set the tune for that a little bit where there was more like music in like original songs, and well, I guess these weren't original songs, but there's like there was like a musical element to it. I don't really count Joker 2. I think that's kind of more of a stretch, but there definitely was more aspects of like there's more music in this than I definitely thought, and it was kind of cool. Like I haven't really seen a lot of like blues movies. I'm sure they're out there that they exist, and it was kind of interesting to be like how like cultures all celebrate song, which is why I think people like this movie where it's like that one scene where the guy plays the song and then like all the different cultures begin converging in like one location. So it's like even though it's like in like rural, it's like in the rural like what like the 30s or the 20s. No, it's earlier than that. It's like the 90s. It's like the 10s or whatever. But like yeah, all of a sudden you'll see like an electric guitar player, Chinese person dancing. You saw people twerking like that. It was objectively a really cool scene, but I don't know if that's enough to be like this is the greatest movie of all time just because I had a really creative scene. I encourage having creative cinema, so I'm really glad it was in there. But also, like I said, it might not be representing to like what I'm into, right? But I did like the musical aspect. I thought from like a horror standpoint, it was fun. Like it wasn't I wasn't scared. I was like, honestly, the big scariest parts like the beginning of the movie when like he enters the church. If you've seen the movie, you kind of know what I'm referring to. There's a few jump scares, and then it doesn't really hit that level of like intensity. It is also kind of like a weirdly like horny movie, which I'm actually like I think is kind of interesting as well. So yeah, I don't know. Like overall, I thought it was like a good. It's a fun film. Like it's a film where I feel like the people who made it enjoyed it, and the people who acted and liked being a part of it. And I did like the whole like part of the music and how it's like how music like connects a bunch of different cultures and how like song and community is really important. That's a very interesting like side piece to that. But do I think it's worth like being the greatest movie of all time or like I think it maybe deserves a couple awards, but do I see it sweeping everything just because I had one really good scene? I don't know, but maybe cinematography. But yeah, I mean, the Sinners review, like I said, it's great music. Characters were good. Oh, my other note is just like it did feel a little long. I don't know. I'm just getting older, but like I do feel like it took a while to pick up. Now, one could argue the world building was needed, but I also feel like you could have just cut out a lot and started with the party, and then kind of gone from there. Because I just feel like there was a lot of like setup that we didn't necessarily need. Also, I think I'm not the first one to say this, but there's like a bunch of like Native American vampire hunters, which objectively are super cool. And actually, I would have like a few more scenes of them like doing stuff because they were pretty dope. And it's like they're kind of there for like 10 minutes, and they kind of have like kind of whole like, all right, sun's going down, we can't beat this guy during the dark, we're just gonna leave. Which I respect their knowledge, but would love to see more of their characters. But yeah, overall, Sinners, I think it's a solid film. Definitely watch it again. Greatest film of all time, probably not for me, but on my like personal rating of did I have fun? I definitely had fun, and I enjoyed the musical aspect. So that's kind of how I would face it, how I would kind of work into it.